Now, if I had done normal gardening, in which I planted cucumbers here in May, I would not have harvested any kohlrabi, I wouldn't have had Swiss chard, I wouldn't have had basil, and I would not have had 2 really big harvests of potatoes by any means. So, the reason that I plant so thickly is that I'm gonna harvest for weeks, maybe even months, before the main crop comes on. The main crop in this bed is cucumbers and ground cherries. So now I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna take some of my basil out because it's crowding the cucumber at this end. It's time to harvest it anyway. I'll leave 1 or 2 little sprigs up so they can go to seed and I can collect the seed, but I'm gonna take most of this basil out now. I'm gonna look for my cucumber. I wanna make sure I'm not about to cut my cucumber because it's enmeshed here in the basil. So I plant super thick, but I also harvest aggressively when it's time. I don't wanna leave any plant in here that still has a long growing period to be shaded out by a plant who has really given us everything we're going to get out of it. So I really like to kind of compare the future growth of the plant, and a lot of times as long as you harvest a plant like these, basil will come back. I've left it a little bit here and also a little bit here. This basil is going to come back. I'm going to come in here, and this one I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive with because it really is shading out this cucumber really bad. So I'm going to take this whole one out, and if it's healthy enough and it has enough sunlight to come back, that's great. But if not, I won't cry about it because I got baby cucumbers in there that need some sunlight. I don't know if you can see those baby cucumbers. Can you see those baby cucumbers? I'll try and show them to you. Right there, right there, right there. If I have some cucumbers in here also that need to be pulled out because it's a little bit, I don't know if they'll be okay now that they have a little bit more sun and air, that they're getting some slimy leaves. And you don't want slimy leaves. So everybody should be much happier now. I got this guy right here that I want to bring out. This is a Chinese celery. So I'm going to go and put him over there where I have some space. So these guys were getting a little slimy. So I did that. I probably should have done that a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. But there we go. The bed looks a lot better, a lot happier now, not crowded. I got another cucumber over here, so I'm going to pull out this Swiss chard. And I think I'm just going to pull out this Swiss chard maybe. And just be really sure that I'm giving everybody the space that they need. And I'm going to twist this off and give it to the rabbits. I'm just going to leave those in there to rot. That's fine. What I have in this bed right now is cucumbers, a little bit of basil, some Chinese cutting celery, and ground cherries. And the ground cherries are like a tomato or a potato. They're a nightshade, except they spread on the ground and they make this really nice little fruit. They look a little bit like a tomatillo, but they taste like pineapple or apricot. They're super sweet and they're fun for the kids to eat. So now all I have in here is hot weather plants, and I do it according to the seasons. We've already harvested greens, kohlrabi, potatoes, all sorts of things out of this bed. And I gave these babies enough space so that as they grew, they would be abundant and beautiful, but I would have other things I was actually harvesting while I was waiting for these guys to be big enough to produce fruit, and they do. I have actual cucumbers on these cucumber plants, and I have actual ground cherries on my ground cherry plants. And so now that they're big enough that they need more light, I've taken everything else out. I've harvested everything. I'm not going to plant anything else in this bed. And the end of the season should be August, maybe September for this bed. If we get to that point where they've kind of run their course, I will start planting my winter garden into this bed in the spots that are bare. So that's how I do my turnover. I have to admit, I love these beds more than I love in-ground gardening. I love these more than just a little tiny raised bed. They're so easy to work in. And the downside again is that you have to have, depending on what you want the bed to do, that's what you fill the bed with. If you want it to not sink at all and you want perennials in it, put in big blocks of wood. If you want it to sink so that you can berm up around your potatoes, you want green wood in here that's leaves and short, thin, skinny branches. That's what you want in here at this point. So these cucumbers can climb out of the hole. This is going to continue to sink, but the cucumbers can continue to climb out of the hole to get sunlight. I have the trellis here for them to go up, which is a cow panel. And this cow panel will be what holds my plastic up when I turn this into a greenhouse later in the year. So I learn more about this every year, and I get more and more excited about it every year as it's so successful. Alright, so while I have some bare soil in here, I'm going to cover up with the bird netting again so the cats can't poop in my bed. Alright. Lots of little baby cucumbers. Now, these cucumbers need to have air in order to not get mildewy. So, this is super important. I might need to cut some of these guys out because I think there's too many of them in there. We'll have to watch and see. This guy down here is in a little bit of a hole, and I got a tomato in here with him. So, for the sake of the cucumber, I might need to take this tomato out. We'll have to see. We clip our chickens' wings so that they can't get in there. The ducks can't get in here, but the cats could. So now the cats can't get in. And once things have kind of filled out a little bit more, then we'll take the bug netting off because the cats won't want to go in there if it's wet. And the bug netting, rain can get through, sun can get through, it won't hurt anything. And I'm pretty happy with it. It looks like a happy little garden. It's been raining for the last 3 days, and so we haven't had to do any farm chores. The garden ground is starting to come up in weeds a little bit. If we were to stop feeding our ducks our regular non-GMO feed, then they would eat the weeds more. But I have a hard time not feeding my ducks because they give us so many good eggs. And so we come and go every year. We put on mulch. If the weeds come in, it's okay. It's still creating soil underneath. We just do our best. And it's starting to look like a jungle. I really need more ducks.
They can see the green of the leaves. They can see the rice plants. They think they know what green is. In contact with nature morning and night, they sometimes come to think that they know nature. But when they think they are beginning to understand nature, they can be sure that they are on the wrong track. Why is it impossible to know nature? That which is conceived to be nature is only the idea of nature arising in each person's mind. The ones who see true nature are infants. They see without thinking, straight and clear.
Practical revelation?
Revolution.
Revolution. Okay. Good morning, guys. This is Jessie, and her boyfriend Zach is not with us, but I'm sure he will be in other videos. And we're here in front of my mint patch that is part of my permaculture. And it's really fun to film up here because we always have cars going by this early in the morning.
Guess everyone's going to work.
Everyone goes to work just as I'm starting to film, and oh well, it's part of the process. So we're gonna do some harvesting of some herbs this morning, and then if you want to see that process and listen to thoughts about growing herbs for yourself, you'll need to go over to Jessie's channel, which is Practical Revolution. And I'm sure that Jessie will have a lot to say about being here on our property. They've been here since, is it June? When did you
Actually,
get here?
early May.
Early May, was it?
Yeah.
Really? Oh my gosh, they've been here so long. We're gonna cry so hard when they're gone. Zach and Jessie have made our outhouse. They have helped us clear and clean up our bone pile. I don't know if they really enjoy it, but they tend to do chores with the girls night and morning. I know the girls appreciate it, but
I like it.
do you like it? So they're very generous with their time. They're kind of like woofers, but they're with our Airbnb. If we have a big project, then we make sure to reimburse them because, I mean, they spend a lot of time on some of these projects, but it's not like it's a huge amount of reimbursement. It's like a very small amount of reimbursement.
I have fun doing it, so does Zach.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah.
So we enjoy having them here. Make sure to go check out their channel, and thought I'd just introduce them, and hopefully we'll have some more videos to come from them soon. And we're gonna go ahead and cut this mint. One of the reasons I like to have aggressive herbs is because most of what I do is just plant it and walk away, and I put it in a spot where I know there's water, and then if it can survive, then I know that I want to keep having it around. And if it doesn't survive, we'll try it in a couple more places to see if it likes it. But if it really can't survive in this kind of more cowboy west
Arid climate with lots of cold weather, and I mean, we if it can't survive, it doesn't belong here on its own for the most part. So go ahead and check out their channel, and hopefully you will enjoy some more videos with them and with us together, and we'll talk to you later. I love that they pop up so they're a little easier to find, and these guys look really happy, so I must have been You just cut the whole thing.
I just do it down to the wherever I feel like reaching.
Okay. Yeah, I think this is a different variety than up there.
Up at the other side.
Yeah.
And we've got more.
The other side, the leaves are more purple. What do you think?
It probably, because I've taken this start from a lot of different